Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Today I'm showing you something that feels very illegal. But if you're restoring a Z car or any Datsun, really, I'm sure they're all about the same way, I'd imagine. And you want to make the car start at 0 on the odometer, I'm going to show you how you do that. I've got a speedometer here that's going in my 240Z, which you guys have seen I'm restoring from the ground up, and you can see I've got this one set to 0. It's 0 all the way through on both the trip and the odometer. And I've got another one here that I've actually pulled. I'm going to show you how this all goes together. I'm going to show you how you set this thing to 0 for those that want to do that. So once again, there's a difference between automatic and manual. This is an automatic speedometer. You can see it starts at 0, and then the manual speedometers start at 10. So just so you know, that's one of the things you can look at if you're looking at buying a Datsun that's a manual and you don't know if it always was a manual. If this hadn't been changed out, that's a dead giveaway that it used to be an automatic. So just something to look at there is also as part of inspecting a car. But anyways, I'm going to start here by showing you on this one how it goes together. So if we look at this one inside here, you can see we got a blue worm gear back there that drives the barrel that holds your actual number wheels. And what it does is it's actually got a little clip, so I can get this on camera pretty good. You can see it's got a little clip right here that holds the drum on the axle. You pull that one out and then this thing will slip up, and you actually push it this way so you get it off over here first, this little bushing, and you can pull it out this way so it actually come out is assembly this way. You'd actually kind of rock it out this way, slide it out, and then that's how you actually remove it. So let me put the camera on the tripod here and I'll show you how you actually take this thing apart. Okay, so here's a look at the drum after it's been removed from the fixture. And basically what you've got is you've got a little sleeve that goes on there like so. This is actually what rides in that groove of this thing, and then your little keeper goes actually behind it like that right there. That's actually what would hold it in place inside the actual speedometer. So with that out of the way, we'll remove these, get that slid off there. So now we've got just the drum, as you can see. And to take this thing apart, you've got a keeper again right there that we'll pull off here. So we'll pull this keeper here off with a pair of pliers. It's a little tricky. So you pull that off there. Then what you've got is you've got a shim. There's a little washer that's used as a shim here. Pull that off. Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm doing. So anyways, we got the little shim right here. So there's our little shim washer. Set it to the side. And now we can actually take apart the actual drum. So we've got this one here. Now this one's actually messed up. It's actually got one that rotates free. It don't matter what's going on. I'll show you what's wrong with it. Somebody's been in this one before. So I don't know what happened exactly in this car that it came out of, but it has been messed up. I'm trying to get my camera to focus. Let me see if I can get this thing to focus. There we go. So we'll take this one off, as you can see. Now if we look at the underside, there's a gear. And the top side, there's two little notches, and that's what grabs the next barrel, or next wheel. This one here, though, however, is missing a gear. You can see that there's a little slot in this one. There's supposed to be a gear right there, and there's not. So there's one. Here's the second one. We take that one off, and now you can see that gear I was talking about. In this plate right here, there's that gear. You see how that looks. It's got a larger side on it. I don't know why my cameras don't want to focus. Let me actually do this. Let me go cancel on this. I'm trying to get my camera to work right too here. There you go, maybe that'll help. So you can see that gear right there. And I wish I could get this thing to focus, come on. So you can see also that the larger side goes down. So it goes like this right here. That's how that works. Take that off. And each layer is the same. So you take the next layer off. It's another gear. So I can get this one loosened. It's got some corrosion. There we go. And basically, you just take all these off, like so. Here's got a bad spot on the shaft. It's also seized up, this one was. That's part of why I took this one apart. But basically, you just keep doing this till you get down to the bottom. And once you get the last one off here, you can see it's just a shaft. And then there's our gear. And there's our teeth that actually drive the first wheel. Is how that works. And of course, you can see all of the pieces right here. Let me move this out of the way. You can actually see all the pieces right there making up this thing. So there we go. So now I'll show you how we go back together with it. So basically, if you want it to be 0, we're just going to get a point on this thing that shows 0, like so. We'll take our next one, and the key thing to remember is that you got this thing at the flat edge. Let me grab it where I can hold it. The flat edge of this thing is actually the front. So what we'll do is we'll position this thing so that is going to be on 0. If I can get that to go back on there. There we go. So get that to go back on there to 0, like so. You can kind of see how that looks right there. And basically we'll take the next one, get it lined up for 0, and once again make sure the gear has got all the teeth across it, goes down, and the one with the 2 notches right here goes up. So we'll take the next one, once again gear face down with all the teeth, get it till it locks in place like so. There we go. And basically just keep doing that till you get them all in there like you want them. There's that one. The next one. If I can hold it. I'm sorry I got a hurt thumb, so it's not helping me out any. So there we go. It's like that right there. And basically you can just see how exactly it goes. It just goes together. Just make sure you keep the front lined up. These little gears come out too, so you have to kind of push them back in if this thing sets up. Those little plastic gears inside these can pop out as well. So you can see we're getting back to 0 on this one. Same thing once again. Make sure you get this where it's faces the others like so. There's 0, and of course our last one's missing the gear, but we'll put it in there anyways. Go 0, and there we go. And that's how it looks. And then what you do next is you put your little shim washer back on top, and you'd follow it up with your little keeper right here. And that's how you do it, and then you slide it back into the thing, and that would be your setup. Let me see if I can actually show you here. I'll pop this in. I'm looking at a camera while I'm doing all this too, so I apologize if it looks weird. I'm going to grab that with some pliers. We're going to push that back. There's a little groove in that shaft this thing fits in. Whoop, it went over here. I caught it. Give me a minute to find that. It went over here somewhere. Be back in a second. Well, I can't find that clip, so another good tip for you is make sure you got a good grip on that little keeper when you install it so you don't lose it like I just did. I'll find it later, but I just can't find it right this minute. So now what I'm going to show you is how you actually install this thing back into the speedometer. So what we'll do is we'll take that little brass sleeve that we took off earlier, slide it back on the shaft. Now mind you, the keeper would still be in this thing, that little black one we just lost. And then what you want to do is you want to take your speedometer, like so, and you're going to start by making sure that these all line up toward the front. So we got 0, of course you can see that in strips, so that don't matter. We're going to slide this thing in, like this right here. Get it to set on the worm gear okay in the back here. As you can see how that works. And then what you do is hold that in position, and you slide that sleeve forward and let it fall into that shaft, like so. And you can kind of see how that little sleeve rides inside that groove. And then you've got another little keeper right here. Let me set this thing back down and just kind of show you how this works. Make sure I don't bend that needle. So we'll get a good grip on this one this time. Make sure we don't do this. And then basically what you'll do is you'll put that right behind that little sleeve. There's a little groove in the shaft. Put that in. Well, so like I say, it's tricky. It's not easy. You have to find that little groove. You have to just kind of work it in. Of course, I need my thicker pliers. Let me get my thicker pliers. These are not really made for that. Let me use these pliers here. This one here will work better. And also, if this thing gets a little bent, you can kind of bend it back in shape. I think that's what we're kind of fighting too. And so basically, put that thing back in there. There we go, just like that. So now it's back in there. You can see it's actually held in place inside there. You got to turn around backwards, but there it is right there. You can see it's locked in the shaft right there, and that keeps that thing from coming out. And if we look at the front, of course we're missing that keeper, so these things are going to be all messed up. But basically we'd have 0 if we didn't have that keeper missing, because right now we got all this loose. But anyways, that's how it works. I just want to take a minute here and show you how you actually change that, and also you can see why it's very important to make sure you keep up those keepers, as I have demonstrated in this video. Easy to lose those things. But like I say, this is a donor, so I'm not real worried about it. It'll be a parts unit anyways. But anyways, I hope that helps some of you guys out, and thanks for watching. And also just a little bit of bonus footage for you. I did end up finding my keeper, so we're good. But like I say, this one is broken. It's got this one that just rotates regardless of where it is. It's missing that little gear that goes between them. And that's why it's important to have those gears. But anyways, thanks for watching.